Ukraine is a country of brains and grains, or so we're told. It has a third of the world's black earth. That's a huge belt of fertile agricultural land stretching from Moldova to Siberia. And IT is a huge strength. Tech know-how is Ukraine's third biggest export. So there are lots of positives, but some negatives when thinking about doing business there. Well, to hear more, let's meet Daniel Bilak, Director of Ukraine's Investment Promotion Office, UkraineInvest. And he's also Chief Investment Advisor to the Ukrainian Prime Minister. I'm Sarah Lockett. Welcome to the Business Debate. Daniel, welcome to the London Stock Exchange studios.
Thank you very much.
So Ukraine's agricultural strengths and scale are well known, but how are you trying to move up the value chain?
Ukraine is one of the world's leading countries in food security. We are the top 5 producer in virtually every grain and certainly in a number of other food products. The importance is to move from just harvesting and selling this on in terms of we need to get into food processing, we need to get into refining, we need to get into consumer credit, we need to build that supply chain that is going to feed the growth of what is really the most dynamic sector of our economy.
And some of that's happening already?
Absolutely, and we have, as I always say, brains and grains are our greatest assets, and the marriage of ag tech, the brains with the grains, means that we have some very interesting innovations and technologies as part of Ukraine's transformation.
So you mentioned technology a little bit, but IT and energy are other important sectors. What sectors would you say investors are most interested in?
We have a 4+1 sector approach where we focus, in addition to agribusiness, manufacturing, energy, and infrastructure, all of which is informed by innovation technology. And these are really the key areas that investors are into. We have the most attractive green tariff in the world, and we have some really big projects in solar and wind power. We have an automobile parts manufacturing cluster in Western Ukraine that is an integral part of the European automobile parts supply chain.
So those things are going well, but we can't not mention the conflict with Russia. Now, how does that play into investors' decisions to put money into the country?
Sure, I think we have to keep it in context. There are lots of countries that have, first of all, that have conflicts, South Korea, Israel, but they have an attractive business environment. What we have tried, and we have to remember that it's about 3% of our population, and it's 800 kilometers from Kiev and 1,500 kilometers from the Polish border. But I think that, for example, the free trade agreements that we have with the EU and Canada and that we're negotiating with Israel and Turkey are really going to change people's perceptions about Ukraine as a place to do business, because they can come into Ukraine and have access to those markets.
It is an ex-communist country, formerly part of the Soviet Union, and the red tape and bureaucracy and that mindset, which is always unattractive to business, is still around. Is it changing?
It certainly is. This transformation that we started 3 years ago, we've now probably scrapped 1,200 regulations, many of them still from Soviet times, that really block people's ability to do business. And this has been recognized by the World Bank in its ease of doing business ratings. Since 2010, Ukraine has shown the most improved business environment of any post-communist country, including Central European neighbors. We've gone from, in 5 years, from 2012 to 2017, from 156 to 76 in ease of doing business ratings, and our goal is by 2020 to be in the top 30.
Corruption is, though, always mentioned, isn't it? Bribes, sweeteners. What would you say about that?
These two are legacy issues that we inherited from Soviet times, and as we are developing institutions of democratic governance, we're dealing with this. We've set up certain anti-corruption institutions, such as the National Anti-Corruption Bureau, but we also fight corruption institutionally through transparency. We have an internationally award-winning public procurement system, Prozoro, and our new automated VAT declaration returns has been very widely accepted and by the business community.
And you do have a few very big names, international businesses relocating, at least parts of their business in Ukraine. Tell me about that.
Well, for example, we have PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is opening a service delivery center in Lviv in Western Ukraine, which will be the back office for virtually all of its European operations. We're negotiating with Bombardier, General Electric, We're negotiating with DP World, Hutchison in the areas of ports. So we're looking at probably $4 billion of investment over the next year or two.
So a lot of businesses starting to realise the benefits of Ukraine.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, on that note, Daniel, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And join us next time when we'll be discussing the latest innovations in healthcare technology and the future of insurance. Bye-bye for now.